The host of today's ceremony is the commander of the United States Army Marksmanship Unit, Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Teelenhouse. Sergeant First Class Richmond has several family members in attendance this morning who have contributed to the success in the Army and also have made sacrifices for our nation that we would like to take a moment to recognize. First, we would like to recognize his mother, Miss Sandy Richmond. At this time, Staff Sergeant Tozier will present a bouquet of flowers from the officers, non-commissioned officers, and soldiers of the United States Army Marksmanship Unit to Miss Richmond for her loyalty and dedication as she supported Sergeant Richmond's 20-year Army career. Also in attendance is his father, Mr. Michael Richmond, wife, Shari Richmond, sons, Tristan and Bo, daughter McKinley, and grandparents, Brent and Lois Richmond, who have not missed one of Sergeant First Class Richmond's ceremonies or graduations throughout his career. Miss Lois Richmond is also receiving a bouquet of flowers from Sergeant Simonton. Sergeant Richmond would also like to thank all of his friends and family that made it here today, who gave up their time to join us for today's event. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Please bow your heads and pray with me as you are able. Heavenly Father, as we gather today to honor your servant Josh, it is easy to see your blessings and his talent during Josh's 20 years of dedicated military service. We recognize the sacrifices he has made and the strength he has drawn from you throughout this journey. In Philippians 4:13, we are reminded, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. May this truth resonate in our hearts as we celebrate Josh's accomplishments, supported by his loving wife Shari and their children, Tristan, Bo, and McKinley. May your blessings be upon Josh and his family as they embark on this new chapter. In your holy name we pray, amen. Sergeant First Class Richmond is retiring upon completion of his assignment as a shooter instructor at the United States Army Marksmanship Unit. He is ending his career after serving with tremendously talented soldiers and civilians of the United States Army Marksmanship Unit. Sergeant First Class Richmond, a native of Hillsgrove, Pennsylvania, joined the Army in October of 2004 after graduating from high school. Josh was born into a family with a strong passion for shooting and the outdoors. Growing up in rural Pennsylvania only helped fuel his fire into eventually becoming one of the world's top shotgun shooters. After firing his first shot at the early age of 5, he participated in the local 4-H rifle club coached by his late uncle, Corey Richmond. At the age of 11, he fell in love with shotgun shooting, specifically competing in the clay target disciplines of trap, skeet, and sporting clays. Little did he know that this hobby would be something that would take him all over the world and lead to a career in the Army. After he found success at the local and state level, Les Greedy, who was his coach at the time, realized he needed to find a bigger challenge for Richmond. He then got in touch with the USA shooting team and registered for the Junior Olympics held in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Josh quickly became a student of the game and realigned his goals to be a contender and make an Olympic team one day. Leaving behind his friends, the sport of basketball and cross country, he qualified for his first U.S. national team at the age of 16 and began traveling to World Cups and World Championships representing the USA shooting team. After winning a World Junior and World Championships and graduating from Sullivan County High School in 2004, he was approached by members of the prestigious United States Army Marksmanship Unit. It was here where his career as a professional shooter took off, qualifying for 2 Olympic teams, winning 2 individual world championships, 10 World Cup medals, and 3 national championships. Richmond also participated as a member of the Army's shotgun demonstration team, where he traveled around the country impressing audiences with his exciting shotgun trick shots. In 2011, Richmond deployed as a marksmanship instructor, training the Afghan National Army and coalition forces on the ground in Kabul, Afghanistan. After 16 years of shooting competitively, Richmond transitioned to the team chief of the International Shotgun Team at the Marksmanship Unit, later to become the HHD training non-commissioned officer in charge. Josh and his family are planning to move to his hometown in Pennsylvania, where he will begin his next career with Euro Optic. Sergeant First Class Richmond's military awards include the Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, NATO Commendation Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Medal, the Volunteer Service Medal, Army Service Ribbon, and the U.S. International Distinguished Badge. At this time, I would like to ask Lieutenant Colonel Thielenhaus and Sergeant First Class Josh Richmond to please come forward for the presentation of awards. Please remain seated during the reading of the citations. Attention to orders. The Meritorious Service Medal is presented to Sergeant First Class Joshua Richmond for exceptionally meritorious service while dedicating 20 years to the United States Army, culminating as a training NCOIC and an instructor shooter for the International Shotgun Team for the United States Army Marksmanship Unit. Sergeant First Class Richmond's patriotism and dedication to duty represented the spirit of an exceptional soldier and leader who served with the utmost distinction in every assignment. His performance and professionalism reflect great credit upon him, the United States Army Marksmanship Unit, the Recruiting Command, and the United States Army. Signed, Johnny Davis, Major General, USAREC, Commanding. A certificate of retirement will also be given to Sergeant First Class Richmond. It reads, "This is to certify that Sergeant First Class Richmond, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Army on the 31st day of October, 2024. Signed, James C. McConville, General, United States Army, Chief of Staff." On behalf of the grateful nation and the United States Army, as a token of appreciation for Sergeant First Class Richmond's honorable and faithful service, he will be receiving a U.S. flag. The American flag is known as the Stars and Stripes and represents the values and ideals of the American people. The white stars are an ancient symbol of sovereignty. There are as many stars as there are states. The blue background of the stars symbolizes vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The red and white stripes represent the 13 original colonies that declared independence from Great Britain in 1776. The color red symbolizes hardiness and valor. Moreover, it represents the blood shed by countless patriots who have given their lives in defense of liberty. The flag represents freedom, both in peacetime and during war. The flag, whether carried high in battle or worn on the shoulder sleeve, represents the courage to fight for liberty as established long ago by our forefathers. We present this flag to you. With honor, realizing the respect which this flag deserves, we now salute you, retired. As a token of our appreciation, Sergeant First Class Richmond will also be receiving the coveted USAMU bullet plaque. A tradition that started in the early 70s, the bullet plaque is awarded to all departing unit members and those who have significantly contributed to the overall success and mission of the United States Army Marksmanship Unit. It reads, Sergeant First Class Richmond, from 18 February 2005 through 31 October 2024, for outstanding contribution and services to the Army Marksmanship Unit and its mission as a shooter, instructor, and soldier. We thank you and wish you good luck. At this time, we ask for Ms. Shari Richmond, Tristan, Bo, and McKinley, please come forward. Ms. Richmond will be presented a Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation and a bouquet of flowers. It reads, this is to certify that Ms. Shari Richmond, on the occasion of the retirement of your spouse from the United States Army, has earned grateful appreciation for your own unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Your unfailing support and understanding helped to make possible your spouse's lasting contribution to the nation. His sons Tristan and Bo and daughter McKinley will receive a United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Certificate of Appreciation. Tristan and Bo will also receive USAMU coins, and McKinley will also be receiving a bouquet of flowers. The certificate reads, for outstanding service to the nation, as valued family member of a retiring United States Army soldier, we recognize your unwavering patriotism and faithful support to this soldier and the United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I ask the former commander of the United States Army Marksmanship Unit, Lieutenant Colonel Casey B. Mills, please come forward.
I am honored to be invited back to send Josh off as he closes out this portion of his career and moves on to the next. And before I get into talking too much about Josh, I really just want to recognize his family again for making the trip down here. Mr. Mike and Miss Sandra Richmond, thank you so much. And then Mr. Brett and Miss Lois, never missing a single ceremony, graduation event throughout his entire military career. What an amazing example of presence and showing how much you care via the time that you spend coming down to see him, and that means a lot. And I recognize that, and I applaud you for those efforts, all of you. And then obviously family members, Miss Shari, Tristan, Bo, love the hair, man. World Series next year maybe, yeah? And Miss McKinley, thank you also for making the drive down. I know that's in the midst of school, right? We got time away from school, we're missing sports, we're missing friends, but this means a tremendous amount, not only to your father and the family, to the members of AMU, but to me personally. I really enjoy seeing the family members get to be recognized here. So, I've got a relatively decent memory. It fades in and out at times, but as much as I tried, it was impossible for me to remember 2 pages full of accomplishments that we have seen over the course of a career. So the single thing that I am going to read are some of these highlights. And really, it goes back to, junior nationals and things like that. But let's start with 2007, and this is going to be something that's going to resonate with a lot of folks here. 2007, a gold medal at the World Cup and an Olympic quota slot for the 2008 Olympics, which unfortunately, as we hit bumps in the road, Josh Richmond was an alternate on that 2008 Olympics team. So what he did was he built a pathway for a teammate to go on and win a gold medal in the 2008 Olympics, right? So that quota slot supported somebody else's dream. And I think we're going to see a series of selfless events and selfless service throughout Josh's career here. As we move into 2010 though, USA Shooting Male Shooter of the Year, Shooting Shotgun Shooter of the Year. I know we've seen the 2016 up there. It's been a recurring theme here. He was the USA Shotgun Shooter of the Year, 3 times, 4 times. Maybe 5 times as I go down this list. Gold medal at the Double Trap World Championships in Munich. First place in the Inter-Service Championships. Another gold medal double trap in Mexico. Silver medal at the USA National Championships. We move into 2011. Becomes an Olympic qualifier. Right, he gets to chase that dream. 2012 at the London Olympics. Again, shooting shotgun athlete of the year. Silver medal at the World Cup in Sydney in Chile. We go into 2012. Get that first chance at competing on that international stage, the grandest of them all at the Olympics, and feeling the pressure of representing your country in the AMU, and what an incredible opportunity to do that, and he represented it incredibly well. Moving to 2013, another gold medal at the National Championships, 14. Big one at the gold medal at the Mixed World Championship in Granada, Spain. On and on these go. And as much as I love reading these and highlighting these are probably the least significant accomplishments that Josh Richmond wished me to talk about. So we'll drop those over here because those are specifically about him, and what he asked me very specifically today was, hey, let's not focus entirely upon me. Let's focus on, one of, if not the single most important person in his life, which is Miss Shari Richmond. And the sacrifices that she made during the course of a 20-year career. For those who don't know, she was an Army service member as well. She was a nurse in the Army from 2003 to 2007, serving her country. Right? She and Josh got married in 2006. She exits the service 1 year later. And now she is that selfless servant, that person putting family and a Olympic dream, a shooting dream in front of her own. Not entirely though, she continued to raise the family. She also continued to go to school, became a nurse practitioner, has continued to support Tristan, Bo, McKinley, and Josh and the entire family, the extended family, as they have gone on in pursuits. So the most important thing, what it really resonated with me when I was talking to Josh, I'm trying to pull things out of him. Hey, what do you think was your greatest accomplishment? What do you want me to highlight? What do you want me to press upon the audience here? He said, single greatest decision I made was in 2006 when I married my wife. Now I want you to talk about her. And man, that speaks volumes to character, right? In the omission of everything else, that he never asked me to talk about a single individual accomplishment except one. And that was his choice in 2011 to deploy to Afghanistan to train soldiers and partners as they engaged in the war on terror, facing Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and other terrorist threats. That was the only thing that he asked me to specifically highlight over a 20-year career, was that decision. Again, a very selfless one, because what was 2011? That was the year leading up to his Olympic trip, his first Olympic trip in 2012. And we want to talk about selfless service to a nation and putting others above your own, and thinking about moral imperative that I've highlighted and talked about here before. I mean, that is an embodiment of that. And for that, more so than anything else, man, I thank you as a soldier and a service member for doing that. Again, volumes about what you recognize and what you wanted, your character, and what you wanted to be recognized for. I think the omission of everything else was deafening in our conversation, and that really resonated, and I applaud you for that. As we think forward and we talk about legacy, something that people generally think is about them and what they do. And I'm going to offer you two. Maya Angelou, who probably knows a thing or two about talking about legacy, she stated very simply that legacy is about the lives you touched. One of my favorite talks about legacy is Pericles, who was a Greek general and politician, kind of in the golden age of Athens. And he said, didn't use the word legacy, but as he's talking about it, he says, what you leave behind is not what is etched in stone mountains, but it is what is woven into the fabric in the lives of others. So if we think about what Josh Richmond has done, all those accomplishments on that sheet of paper behind me, those are things that are kind of etched into stone mountains, right? Those are things that get etched onto plaques and medals, and not the single most important thing about his legacy. But what about the lives he's touched and what he has woven into the fabric and lives of others? Whether those are the probably hundreds of youth shooters that he has coached between Harris County, various other shooting clubs, and I'm sure he will continue to do as he moves forward back to his home state of Pennsylvania. How about the teammates that he has been on the road with for hundreds of days a year? We're talking years out of a career on the road, supporting them, training with them, making them better. How about all the videos that we see of him telling his Army story? Countless demos. How about a particular AMU commander that was fortunate enough to spend some lunch hours with him out on the shotgun range, hearing his story. And pseudo, I will blame him for my lack of performance at the AMU Cup. As he went home to build a house and get the family in order instead of training me up so I could win. For those, more so than the time on the range and more so than the shotgun shells spent, was my opportunity to spend a lunch hour with him once or twice a week for a couple months and learn his story and learn about what's important to him. And what was important to him, and not that they're not important, because he worked very, very hard. Right, again, as we talk about what is woven into the countless youth, a pursuit of excellence, relentless pursuit of excellence that he did over the course of a career, and instilling that value into his own children and into those youth shooters that he has trained. What selfless service really means, what recognizing others, humility, how I want this day to not be about me, but to be about my family. Because it is a family event, it's a family affair here, and retiring from the military is a family. That is a family event. You have just retired from the military, Shari, congratulations. Maybe we'll all escape someday. So I think the final thing that I would like to wrap this up with is, we're closing a chapter. We're closing one very long, incredibly exciting, riveting read of a chapter. But the Richmond family is going to go forward, and they get to write the rest of this story. That book is not over yet. And they get to make the next chapter be whatever it is they dream. And I, for one, look forward to reading the rest of that book, and I want to see all the great things that it holds for the Richmond family. The very last thing, one of the very last documents that I signed as the commander was Josh Richmond's induction into the AMU Shotgun Hall of Fame. I think Jeff Hogan reminded me I signed it like at 10 or 11 p.m. on Wednesday night before I came in for my change of command on Thursday morning. So if that, please come up here one last time to be recognized as we induct him into the Shotgun Hall of Fame. It was my honor and my pleasure to do that. Thank you very much for everything you've done. I can't wait to read the rest of that book.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the United States Army Marksmanship Unit, Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Thielenhaus.
So for those who don't know, Josh and I met only a couple of weeks ago. So I don't have the background, Casey, but I thank you for that introduction. That is really setting the stage for what I think Sergeant Richmond has accomplished here. Josh, thank you for bringing me part of this. Thanks, Sherry. Thanks to your family. I really appreciate having the chance to even talk to what you have done and to the whole unit about your accomplishments here. Because in short, NCOs like you are the heart and soul of this unit. And the legacy that you've created, along with your own accomplishments, are the reason why we're so successful here. There's many NCOs like you here, which just shows just how special this unit really is. Reading off the list of things you've already done, and then looking at how every team has somebody like you, it's just amazing to me. And you being part of that legacy, you will always have a home here. Thank you to your family. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Richmond. I want to keep this very short because I want to get you up here so you can talk yourself. But I just wanted to make it very clear that I have such amazing respect for you, for the other NCOs in this unit. I'm thrilled to be a part of this. I'm thrilled to be a part of this ceremony. Thank you again, Sergeant Richmond. Come on up. I want you to get your chance.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank everybody for coming, making this time out today. I'm not one that likes to stop training and all that kind of stuff, so it means a lot. Today, as I stand before you, I am filled with a profound sense of gratitude and nostalgia. After 2 decades of service with the Marksmanship Unit as a shooter instructor, the moment to hang up my uniform has arrived. Allergies. It's a day of reflection, a moment to reminisce on a journey that has been both challenging and incredibly rewarding. When I first joined the unit, I was eager to and perhaps a little bit green, driven by a passion for shooting and a deep respect for this unit and its mission. The marksmanship unit was not just a place I found to hone my skills. It's a place where I became part of a brotherhood that taught me the true meaning of dedication and discipline and gave me every opportunity to achieve my personal and professional goals. Every day here was an opportunity to learn and grow and contribute to a legacy that was much more significant than any individual accomplishment. Serving as a shooter instructor here, I worked with some of the most talented individuals I've ever met. Everyone brought their unique strengths to the range, reminding me that success is a team effort. The victories we celebrated and the challenges we overcame together have left an indelible mark on my heart. The lessons I learned here go far beyond the technical skills of marksmanship. I learned about resiliency in the face of adversity, the power of a positive attitude, and the importance of mentoring the next generation. Seeing the potential in every soldier and helping them overcome their hurdles. Watching them grow into accomplished shooters and exemplary soldiers has been one of the most rewarding aspects of my career. As I transition into retirement, I carry with me memories of these achievements and accolades, but also the personal growth and friendships that have enriched my life beyond measure. The camaraderie, the shared struggles, and the triumphs have forged bonds that will last a lifetime. I want to express my deepest gratitude to my fellow commanders, my non-commissioned officers, my soldiers, civilians, and mentors, whose guidance and support has been invaluable. To my family, who has stood by me every step of the way, through the competitions, the long days of training, countless trips, and every moment of doubt, your unwavering love and support has been my anchor. As I look forward to the future, I'm excited about the new adventures. Yet I know that the lessons I've learned here, the values I've embraced, and the friendships I've made will always be part of who I am. The Army Marksmanship Unit will always be my home. I'll forever be proud to be serving among the finest Elma champions. God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song. Sergeant First Class Richmond's family will now form a receiving line. This concludes today's ceremony. Home of Champions.